Good evening, everybody, and welcome to my life. This is Father Anthony, and this is Pastor the B in Pidgin. How was your weekend? And how are you preparing for the Christmas time? It's good seeing you guys again today. Today's class will be not our normal class. We're going to do something different from what we've been doing all this while. So as you come in, I want you to please share the link and invite your friends as well to come alive today. Wait for students to come alive and we'll start. Good evening. If you're joining for the first time, you're welcome. Give me a few minutes while I settle and then send links to everybody possibly. All right. Give me some time. Let me share the link to as many as possible. If you're just joining me, please be patient a little. I'll get things done. Good evening, everybody. Destiny Papa, I see you. Peace, love. Good evening. And Jay, good evening. We're going to see you guys again in class. Yes, we're live already. Just give me a minute. Let me adjust things before we start. Yeah, yeah. My voice is always low. I don't understand. Eh? Good evening, everybody. John, good evening. Balogun, good evening. Can you guys hear me now? My voice is always low. I don't know why it's low. I don't know why. Adequate. Sorry, I'm going to get something done. We'll just begin now. All right, come to class, guys. Let's go to class. Okay, good. Can you guys hear me now? Good evening, everybody. Lat Melly, good evening. Temi Tokbe, good evening. John, good evening. Yeah. Is it okay now? Can you guys hear me? All right. Today we're going to have a guest tonight. You might have heard about her or seen her before. But today I want her to come on live to at least we use interview to close up this year's class, probably before the Xmas time. She'll tell us something we've had before, but I think is she gonna she'll flavor up a little of our life today, of our time show, so that she'll give hope and then encouragement to many Nigerians who are living in Italy. So now you guys to invite your friends while we'll talk about something very important. So I don't know if it is live, she's hearing me now. I'm gonna come up and let's talk on something tonight. We've done a lot of classes for this year. We've done some topics that are really interesting. We've gone almost half of the scale in driving school. And it would be a good thing that we, once in a while, go back to these topics and revise them again. So, in case you have any questions before we proceed, I want you to please come up and ask questions or make a preview of this year's class and everything we do all this while. So, if you have questions for the past class we've done, I would like you to come at least say something about the past class we've done and then see how we can go ahead with it. Any question from our previous classes? Merry Christmas to you, Kenneth. Any questions from our previous classes? Any questions? Or there's something you don't understand from what we've been doing all this while? I'd like to know, and I'll see how to go about it. For those who are just joining us, we've done a lot of topics in this very particular time, and we sometimes we go back again. But for now, I want to finish the scalar. So for this year, we today we will do the stanza di sicurezza, which we'll do today, at least to end this year's class. Or if there's time, we could do one class again after the Christmas, if possible. But if not, we call it a year, and then we'll see how to proceed next year. But for those who have been in class all this while, do you have any questions to ask? Any questions to ask? You will not talk. My you will never talk. You never have question one day to ask. I go teach. I go ask questions. Eh? If you hear, sir. Any questions, guys? Kenny, good evening. Please share the live to as many as possible if they come to class. I'm waiting for us to get going before we start class today. When you begin with us, John should bring you up. Okay, John, I'll drop the link here for you so that you can come up. Whoever wants to come up can use this link and come up. So that's the link for whoever wants to come up and say something. Use the link. I want to know how you feel about this class so far, and if you are beginning, what is your confusion about it, and let us see how we can help you out before we go to the next topic. I know that everybody is following along. Richard, good evening. Kwa is it Kukwanyam? Kukwayam, good evening. That name sounds funny, sha. Good evening, guys. Everybody, welcome. 36 in number at the moment. Let's wait for more numbers to come. John, I just sent you the link if you want to come up. Ah, Francis, there's holiday. Oh. Who teach in holiday? Ah, all right, ladies and gentlemen, I think we need to start with what we came for today. Okay.
Good evening. Oh wow.
Yeah, well, we'll connect with
Good
Mrs.
evening.
Precious.
Yes.
Yeah, madam, how are you?
I'm fine. Good evening. Please forgive my lateness.
It's okay. It's okay. Guys, today's class will be somewhat different because we just want to present somebody on stage. Mrs. Precious is a pharmacist in Italy, in Nigeria, and she has a pharmacy also in Italy. She will tell us how she went about this stuff, how she came about this idea, and she will tell us many things about herself, and then she will tell us also what we need to do to succeed. Because there's this, we have this, we of recent past, we have this mentality that in Italy, when you come to Italy, the language and the cultures and the cultural background or the cultural media, they're all difficulties that will not allow us to get what we want to get. There are people who didn't see these things as barrier. They saw it as a step to becoming what they want to become. And Mrs. Bishop is one of them. So before I start, I'll play a clip from TikTok videos that she shared that talked a little bit about her, and then we'll see how. And then from there, she will pick up and then tell us who she is and how she came about this idea. I'm coming up and play the right video. Good.
As my people would say, I was a full-time working mom of two living in Italy. I used to be a stay-at-home mom, and trust me, it was fun while it lasted until COVID struck, and I had to dust my certificate and get my ass to work. Now it's been 3 years since I've been actively working at the pharmacy where I work. Living in Italy, if you've ever lived in Italy or if you know Italians and how they are, there's a lot of bureaucracy with a sprinkle of racism, but we move. We keep doing what we have to do. I love Italy for their transportation, their good food, their culture, the quality of life, and the health system here is amazing. September this year would make it exactly 15 years since I've lived here. And you know what they say, change is the only constant thing in life.
And we'll send the video, and I guess that will go a long way to tell us what we're about to listen to. So, Mrs. Precious, this is Patete B in Pigeon. Today, we're going to like deviate a little bit to hear your story. So, Mrs. Precious, who are you and what do you do?
Okay, my name is Precious. I'm Mrs. Precious Okpara. I've lived in Italy for over 15 years. I came here during my late teenage years, and I've lived here for 15 years. After I graduated from secondary school back in Nigeria and moved over here, Came here, I did a diploma. I did I don't know if you guys know what the A-level course. I did an A-level course to get a diploma to enter into the university here because I wasn't very well informed. If I had known that I could use my exam certificates from Nigeria to go directly into the university, I wouldn't have wasted 2 years. So after I moved down here, I had to take 2 years out to do an A-level course to get another diploma. Then I started the university here. I started the university degree in pharmacy. The initial plan was to study medicine because before coming to Italy, I had gained admission at the University of Nigeria and Nsukka to study medicine. But then as soon as my visa came out, I was brought here by my mom. She insisted, just come right away, leave the degree and everything, come and school here. It's better. Coming here, I had to do 2 years A levels, go on. And then after 2 years, I went on to to start this degree, the pharmacy degree. As of the day when I did the pharmacy degree exam, just after I had found out I had passed in the evening, I then figured out that there was actually a board exam, an exam to take in to do the medicine degree. So one of the issues I had as a new immigrant here in Italy was either misinformation or lack of information. This was actually what spurred me to start this channel and talk about studying in Italy and being a pharmacist in Italy, because the misinformation from the very beginning made me waste 2 years of my life. So after I did the pharmacy degree, I graduated, went immediately, got married shortly after, had my kids, took a couple of years back from working and all of that. And after like COVID came and with the whole COVID situation, I decided to start working immediately, left my kids at home, obviously with the support system I have, and got this job, which I have currently. And ever since, the rest is history. Yeah.
Madam, how did you cope with the language barrier and the cultural shock?
Okay, the language barrier for me, I'll say when I came here, when I moved here, I remember doing the language. I went to the language school shortly after, and I was at the language school for about 3, 4 months. I learned a couple of words in Italian, but it was never enough. The language barrier was a big issue initially, but I figured out in time that having Italians as friends actually helps you learn the language better than just going to the school. So I was able to catch up with the language earlier on. If I must say, it wasn't much of a problem for me because I was with having some Italian friends, I was able to cope, start speaking in Italian much earlier.
You said earlier that you came over with your secondary school levels.
Yes, yes,
You never schooled you never went to any higher institution in Nigeria.
yes,
And you said if you had known, you would have used your SSC to
yes,
get
yes. Because I
admission.
did my GCE, I did my both my GCE, my NECO, and the WAEC. I had all three of them ready, but I never knew. Not many people knew at the time that you could actually use your school certificates from Nigeria to get into the universities here.
Could you please tell us how you could do that?
Okay. Having as soon as you finish your exams and you've passed, most likely the WAEC, it's easier to translate your WAEC exams. It's easier to translate your. I didn't go through this process because, as I said, I took an A-level degree. I did an A-level diploma. It's pretty much the same thing. From information I've gathered, you can actually translate. You need to do what is called the declaration of value of your certificates from Nigeria, either your WAEC certificates or GCE, preferably. I don't know if they still use GCE in Nigeria right now. Any of those two, what you have to do is go to the Nigerian embassy of your home country, the embassy of the whichever country. I don't know if it's just Nigerians watching, but if you're Nigerian Kenyan, go to the Italian embassy in that country. Having just shortly after translating your results, because obviously you have the results in English, so you have to first translate them to Italian, then get a lawyer to legalize them, then take them to the Italian embassy of your home country to do the declaration of value, and then you can study here in Italy. I had a couple of colleagues then who moved down to study in Italy, not having this declaration of value, and it caused problems for them along the line. Maybe during the second year, they would request you bring the certificates. If not, you will not be able to take certain exams. So That's how important it is. As far as you have the declaration of value, you can study in any Italian university, be it in English or in Italian. Yeah, so
Thank you.
that's the process.
If you are joining us, we are having a talk with Mrs. Precious. She's a pharmacist, and she has a pharmacy here in Italy. Miss Precious, could you tell us where you live, the city you live in, and what was your idea? Why did you have to have a pharmacy, and what were your challenges towards having this?
Okay, maybe I'd like to correct a short impression. I don't have a pharmacy. I work in a pharmacy.
Okay,
I work
sorry,
in this
you work in
pharmacy.
a pharmacy.
So
Good, good.
the challenges I had at having to start was like the public relation, like with people, with Italians. It's not you don't walk into every pharmacy in Italy, any pharmacy in Italy every day, and you see people, black people of your color. You don't see people of color in pharmacies or in at the post office or at like these public places where you normally see just the faces you see. So initially there was this kind of restraint from like the Italian, the locals. When they come to the pharmacy, seeing a black pharmacist, they tend to adhere towards their country people most of the time, because at first they lack that trust. They lack the trust. So this was a challenge for me. So I'll give an example. At the lab where I work, I'm a compounding pharmacist, meaning I make pharmaceutical formulations. I'm talking about syrups, capsules, creams, any kind of pharmaceutical formulation you can think about. I studied to do this, was what I specialized in after getting my pharmacy degree. So people tend to come to the pharmacy and would go to a colleague who does not specialize in this to ask a question to ask that person a question, and then they'll get redirected to me. Maybe initially I have made an attempt to attend to the person, but just because I'm a person of color, they tend to go towards my colleague rather than myself. So this is one challenge I had initially. But with time, people seeing your face every day in the same spot and understanding, okay, she knows what your onions, they kind of like get calmer and start coming to you, you understand? So that was one issue I had.
You would you want to take questions now or later at the end, because
Any
we have
For
some
me, anything
questions
is
now.
fine.
Now somebody asked a question that she had a problem with her age, because the age she declared
Mm-hmm.
here is different from the one she used in a document in Nigeria.
Mm-hmm.
Some of us came down here and changed our
Mm-hmm.
age.
Yeah.
So what could she do to get back her age, like what she has in certificate in Nigeria?
Okay, due to bureaucracy here in Italy, it might be difficult to get anything done here in Italy. One authentic solution I can give to her is go back to Nigeria with the name you have on your documents here. Go back to Nigeria with that name and try and apply to do the WAEC exams. You will definitely get, it's easier to do that. Get the results in your name, sitting for the exam, obviously, authentically, sitting for the exam, getting it in that name you have right now.
Oh, he has to go back to
Yeah, she has
Nigeria
to go back to Nigeria
with
and
with this
sit for the WAEC exam with the
document.
name she has currently and the
Yeah,
age.
okay. Okay, without going to change the ones she has done before.
If she wants to, it might be for bureaucracy's sake here in Italy, because you have to start explaining why was there a change in the name and all of that, to avoid certain questions from the government here. That might be the best option. It might be the easiest and fastest way. If she insists on changing the names, then she'll have to do some certain things at the Italian embassy. I'm not very informed with what she would have to do at the Italian embassy there in Nigeria, but because it might pose problems when she has to do the declaration of value. You have to bring some extra documents to show, okay, why was your name this and why is your name now this? So that's one easy thing she can do. Go with that, because sitting for WAEC exams is just a matter of time. She will get it done faster than going through all of that process. It's the fastest route I can think of.
When what you hear about is, they say they have levels of jobs for Africans, and Nigeria have their own levels. Like, there's this
Yeah.
mentality of ladies coming to Italy, they settle
Mm-hmm.
for this lesser job, like house help,
Mm-hmm.
caregiver,
Mm-hmm.
Not caregiver in a way that caregiver is of degree. Some go to do this horse and nursing, but some don't
Yes.
even do it. They just settle for the
The
just come
yeah,
here, they don't call work,
badante. Yeah.
madam take job, then cleaning
Mm-hmm.
all the stuff,
Exactly.
which has been the or even till now, people don't find they find difficult to go to school because of the
Mm.
language. How did you get the course of the pharmacy? This is your what you're doing now. How did you get what course did you read? How long did it take you to read this course? Was there
Okay.
exam? Was there an entrance exam?
Yes, of course. There was, as I said at the initial point, there was an extra entrance exam I sat for, and it was a multiple choice exam question of 60 questions with a mixture of physics, maths, English, and physics, maths, biology, and chemistry. This for so it was just a 60 question, a 60 multiple choice question in this back then. So I sat for the exam and gain the admission into the university to study this. And this is how it goes. This is pretty much the same kind of exam for any degree you want to study in Italy. Although there are still certain courses that you most likely might not even need a multiple choice, or even you might not have to sit a written exam. It might just be an oral interview with an invigilator, and that's all. So getting the courses are easier.
During your course, yeah, while you're working there at the pharmacy, have you ever experienced any discrimination? Like
Oh, every single day.
somebody comes to get a drug and then maybe he picks the number and it meets you at the counter. How
Yes.
and then it is like, what are
There's
you
this
doing here?
doubt. Yes, there's this
Yeah.
doubt. There's this doubt.
How
Yes.
how's your experience? Could you share the experiences with us?
Oh, okay. I'm going to give an example of a particular formulation I actually made. At a particular point, I made a formulation, a solution for the hair for people with alopecia. It's called
Wait,
minoxidil.
when you talk of formulation, could you please break
Okay,
this
when I
things
talk
down for
about
our audience?
formulation, I'm talking about, okay, let me just use my Nigerians will say hair cream, hair
Okay.
solution, hair, all of that. So I made this particular hair, I would call it's not really a hair cream per se. I would say it's more like a hair, it's a solution, it's like a liquid you put on your scalp for people that have experiencing hair loss. It's called minoxidil. So
You
I
produce
made
that is
this
you
particular formulation for
sorry,
the first time.
you produce it or you do the mixture.
I like we have the raw material, which is like the substance itself, the chemical substance itself.
Yeah.
So my job is to use solvents and everything, all of this, and make a final product. Just
Okay.
like the products you see, the creams and the shampoos and all of that you see and this in the store, Tigota in Rispamio Casa, it's just the same thing. So we do everything from scratch. Obviously, these formulations are made only after a doctor has prescribed them on a recetta. So
Okay.
I made a particular formulation for this particular client the first time, and it was amazing. There was no residue. Sometimes, let me use an example of palm wine. Some people drink palm wine and there's like residue underneath. So sometimes if you
Okay.
don't make the formulations well, you see the sediments down below the bottle. So
Yes.
whenever I make it for this man, he noticed it's always perfect, no residue. And then this particular time I was on leave, another colleague of mine made it, and there was this residue underneath. And then
Oh,
he came back, and him knowing that I make these formulations too, he came back and he was like, "Oh, la dottoressa di colore ha fatto questa cosa, non ha fatto bene." And then my boss went to check who made it. It was not me. I was on leave.
okay.
So it was kind of, so these are the issues. Sometimes they come with questions that you're actually the only pharmacy on board at that point in time. The rest are just magasiniere. That's like the people that refill the drugs, restock the drugs
Yeah.
when the
Yeah. Yeah.
pharmacy has run out. You're the only pharmacy on seat at that point in time. Then they come just because they go immediately to the first white person they see,
The
and
first
my
one,
colleague
and
is like, "No, c'è la
it's
dottoressa,
not
vai
me.
alla dottoressa." So this is
It's the
something that
one.
I experience every time. I'm used to it.
Oh,
I've grown thick skin. I don't consider it as anything anymore at this point.
that's good.
So, yeah.
Then I'll play another video again, and you talk.
Mhm.
You tell us about something on it.
Okay.
I hope I get the video. Okay, now like this. So I got some videos here to play. To be this as well.
People will say, now where man they work in the shop. Oh, welcome to another day in the life of an assistant pharmacy intern who I've tutored for the last 6 months who believe in the pharmacy. A lot of you will relate with me when I say it's always a joy when you meet someone that speaks your lingua franca, be it English or French. It's always a beauty. So for the last 6 months, I've been speaking English. Now he's going.
Hey, I'm going to miss Fraser. Anyways, how do you feel? It's your last day of internship.
Yeah, I feel like really overwhelmed.
Mm-hmm.
And after 6 months,
Mm-hmm. It's been so helpful. It's been so interesting and it's been fun teaching him. And I'm so happy.
yeah, I'm actually really grateful for your patience with the
Oh, thank you.
with the laboratory stuff.
Good. So
But yeah,
did you learn a lot?
yeah, much more than university. That was just written
I know.
exam. That's it.
Of course, you learn all of the theoretical part and all of that, but like the job. So I'm
Yeah,
glad.
especially that our year. It
Mhm.
was like in Corona time
Yeah.
and practical finished.
Good. Now, this was your student, whom you tutored.
Yes.
How did you feel doing this? You, a Nigerian, a black,
Mm-hmm.
tutoring somebody.
Okay. For me, it was, I wouldn't say normal. It was a normal feeling. I was kind of, it made me proud of myself and it made me proud of like my people, because I made me proud of my people because I see Nigerians every day achieving so much. I see I see us Africans, not just Nigerians, achieving a lot in this country. I have so many friends, Nigerian friends, fellow colleagues who I see at different sectors in Italy here working. I have engineers as friends, and I'm like, I'm proud of us. Actually, it was mind blowing for me. I'm proud of us sincerely. It made me proud of where I come from, my roots, and the amount of dedication that has gone into all of this. So made me proud.
Good. I'll play another video again where you talked on something very important, and I want to share this with. I want to throw light on this.
Okay.
But sometimes we don't take care of our health, and
Yeah.
it has a consequence on us. Before then, I want to ask a question. You've lived what? Sorry, where are you
I
in
live in
Italy?
Rome. I live in
In
Rome
Rome.
actually.
Good.
Yes.
Sure. Probably you've seen the Nigerians. What are the common health issues that we Africans have here in Italy? The
Okay.
common health issues that we overlook. We don't even bother about it until it gets to worse.
Okay. I've noticed that most of our people have so much vitamin D deficiency that causes other problems. Now, for the women, I've seen women that have gone for years and years on without even understanding that they've had vitamin D deficiency, and it's led to them having osteoporosis. Osteoporosis is like when there's like low bone density, and then a woman starts to have aches on her joints, her legs. When a woman starts to complain about knee aches, already most of our people already have very some menial jobs that are very tasking and very stressful. We use a lot of bend with so much bending and standing, and I for one, I'm a pharmacist. I stand. It means I stand for 8 hours most of the time. So this is already another kind of tasking job. So I notice most people, they forget their supplements, like vitamin D supplements. Our doctors, they have their own part to play, but most of us are not very well informed of the importance of supplementing. So I see a lot of vitamin D deficiency in so many of our people that causes it. And being that we are Africans, we were born and we grew up in Africa, then we're living in this side of the world where we have we are approaching, we are right now in winter and there's no sun. We don't have the sun is, we don't have that source of sunlight to give us the vitamin D we would have had in Nigeria and would have survived without the vitamin D supplements. So this is one issue we have here: lack of
Vitamin D.
vitamins, essentially vitamin D specifically in our community.
What about for the male folk?
Then for the male folk, I'll say most people are not taking care of their the elderly male folk. There's a lot of prostatitis, that's like the inflammation of the prostate gland. I see a lot of elderly African men with issues like glaucoma, cataract, and all of that. Because we do, as I said before, the certain jobs that we have, we don't take care of ourselves. We don't supplement a lot, and then most of the younger generation of people I see in our community, if I must say, sexual health is another issue. A lot of people don't prioritize sexual health, and like they don't know the importance of certain supplements like cranberry, glucomannan, and a lot of that. Because
Wait,
I see a
Precious,
lot of people coming
Precious,
with
wait,
urinary tract
Precious.
infections. Sir?
You need to break down now. You need to break these terms down very
Okay.
well. When we talk about sexual health, what do you mean?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
When you talk about
Okay.
sexual health, what do you mean?
Okay, when I talk about sexual health now, I talk about a lot of people, I see in this community. I might not want to go into full details, but I see a lot of people in our community who actually have a lot, they have so many untreated infections for lack of either not having the doctor, or having their doctor stay, because most people have this issue of, my doctor is in Torino, my doctor is in this, and I'm in Roma, I can't get the right prescription, and the person has a particular sexual either a sexually transmitted disease, or even just she's still there. That's the normal cystitis, which is actually a sort of bladder an inflammation of the urethra, one of the glands that connects to the bladder. So most people have all of these infections, and it remains untreated for a long time, and it poses more problems on the long run. So this is another issue. Sexual health, they need to prioritize it, take the right supplements. For women, get all the right ovals. Most women have issues with their intimate parts, because they are not taking care of they're not prioritizing they don't know the importance. Most women don't even know the importance of just using certain ovals even after just their monthly period. Try to use it to balance your pH, or try to use it to avoid a certain kind of infection. Yeah, this.
What does the winter has to do with blood pressure for Africans?
For Africans, the winter with blood pressure. Okay, it depends because it's subjective to everyone has a different kind of lifestyle. There's the person that eats healthy, and there's the other person that eats as he pleases. So I believe I can't generalize it and say the winter has a lot to do. In winter, if we want to look at it from this point of view, in winter it means you sweat less. In winter you sweat less, unlike in the summer. So you have a lot of fluid retention in winter because you're not sweating a lot. So in winter, there's a possibility of having a higher blood pressure than in summer, where you sweat because you drain out all of the salt from your sweat pores. But in winter, you have a lot of fluid retention. So, yeah.
And then some other thing again, like when we Africans, this our community, we like alcohol very much.
Mm.
We drink a lot.
Mm-hmm.
What will be your take? What will be your advice?
Okay, my advice is prioritize health, because most people, they drink and they don't even know what their blood pressure says at the point in time. If we realize, most of the time, most our people back home, if you're on social media most of the time, and you see people pleading for a GoFundMe account, or trying to share and pass news or information about a certain person, it's always kidney failure, liver failure, kidney failure, liver failure. It's because of all of this excessive drinking. It puts so much pressure on the liver. A lot of our people drink a lot. You see them at African stores. They drink a lot. And all of that causes so much liver dysfunction on the long run. There's cirrhosis of the liver, where the liver just loses its function. And yeah, with drinking a lot is not going to, they know already the bad side effects of all of this, but the thing
There's
is,
this common knowledge that in these Africa stores they miss these drinks. You miss different roots and
I even
alcohol.
heard they have like the fake ones as well. I heard of having fake drinks as well.
What are the effects of these mixtures that they drink? their
Yeah,
system.
it causes on the long run, it causes total liver dysfunction. They start having issues with their kidney. The kidneys can't process do all the usual ultrafiltration and absorption and all the metabolism it's supposed to do. Then they start having issues with the kidney, and that's the rest is just history at that point. Because the more they drink, the more they take these things. They don't even. The thing is, a random African man most of the time doesn't even check his blood pressure on a normal day. But then him living abroad and having pharmacies where it's free, going to check your blood pressure. From my best of knowledge, it's actually totally free. If you are aware, once a week, walk into any pharmacy and check your blood pressure. But most people don't do it until it's too late. And it's even people who don't drink normally still have these issues, not to talk of someone who then does so much alcohol. I feel like they should prioritize the importance of checking their blood pressure. Anybody that wants to always indulge in such drink a lot than usual, red wine is good. Most people say red wine is good for the health. It's got resveratrol, which is actually a substance that is good for the heart. So taking a glass, just the way they say a glass of red wine once in a blue moon helps the heart, it keeps the heart healthy. But that does not mean go on and overindulge and get oneself sick. So
In one of your video that I'll play now, you talk about a blood group.
yes.
Let's see. So let's play the video and then you tell us on the importance of this blood group, because
Okay.
I'm not sure most of us do this. We just get into, we get pregnant, and then life begins.
Exactly. Until it gets very hard.
So back in Nigeria, you did your blood test and they told you you are AA and not AS. And then you've lived abroad for many years and you pregnant one lady, only to find out that the lady is AS. Make sure you're not AS. You eventually go and do the test and then figure out that you're AS too. My sister, my brother, please double check before you start dating anybody here abroad, whether you're in Italy, Germany, London, Canada. Ensure you take a blood test. Do your blood test to figure out your genotype. Are you A? Are you B? Are you A B? Are you O? Are you Q? Are you R? Are you S? Figure out what your blood group is and your genotype is important. Are you AAAS? Please do not come and bring innocent children that will come and suffer sickle cell. I beg in.
We hear about sickle cell in Nigeria, SS, sickler. Do they exist here? What is the effect? Now we're talking about this blood group, people checking their blood. I think it's important thing. Could you please throw more light on this and the importance of this? Because we don't, I'm not sure we do it. We don't. We just, like you said, you just put a woman in a family way. We get carried away. The next thing life continues. Without checking if that lady is the same blood type or if there's something that could not have brought you together. So please, I beg, break them down.
Okay.
Break 'em
Okay.
down. Can you speak
So
pigeon? Can you speak pigeon?
okay. Yes, I
Break 'em.
can. Okay.
Break 'em.
Okay. If I have to, okay, I'll have to speak in pigeon. My pigeon is not great, but I'll try.
Yeah, try.
Okay,
Just
so
try.
when we do genetics for school, we get different kinds of blood groups. There are different kinds of blood groups. We have blood group. We have we have B, A, B, and O. These are blood groups. Then we also have the genotype. Genotype can be for any kind of genetic issue. There's the genotype for albinism. That's why you see some people are born as albinos. There's the genotype. There's the proper genotype to see if one has the sickle cell. Now the sickle cell is just like I'm speaking English. Okay, so the blood now, the normal red blood cell now for the way we get for body is round like this, is round shaped, they're round like this, and every 120 days, meaning every 3 months, our body actually reproduces new red blood cells. Now There are certain people that have their own, instead of them having round red blood cells, they have it in the shape of a sickle. Their red blood cells be like this sickle. So these people now, it means that they carry the recessive gene. They carry the recessive gene, which is actually S for this sickle cell. Now, if two people will get AS and AS come together, the risk of their children getting SS is actually 50%, because every 4 children where they get opportunity to get one AA picking day, opportunity to get one AS picking day, then opportunity to get 2 SS children still day. I don't know if I'm explaining well.
Yes, you are. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
So the important here in Italy, you know, be like Nigeria, where you go hospital and the doctor will explain to you, they'll put out for the report exactly as it be, and they'll tell you, okay, now SS this one be on our AA or now AS. Here for Italy, they're different. They're very different. The way they explain them to you, they're different. You go need to look at certain things for the blood test. When you go hospital, go to ask for hemochromo. I know if you really explain them like this for video, maybe now with description and everything, I will fit explain better.
Right.
When you go do a hemochromo test, the first 6 to 10 things where they check for the blood, you go see if when you check molecular, you get the description MCV, MCF, you get the kind of descriptions where they be. You'll know whether your blood group or something, you'll know as it go be. But here in Italy, you know, be like Nigeria, as I've been talked before. So most of the time, if they notice say the mama will get belle, go hospital, she did AS, automatically the doctors they already understand. Here for Italy, they know they call them sickler. Most of the time, they call them microcythemia. So when they say qualcuno è microcytemico, if it be say he gets thalassemia or anemia fasciforme. So anemia fasciforme, now this sickler where we know for Nigeria. So when somebody has AS, they call you portatore sana. They call you the potato. That's you just have the gene. You don't have the domain. You're not SS. You are AS. So they call you portatore sana. But when you now have SS, the person is really, really a sickler. At that point, the person is a malato di questa anemia fasciforme. So here in Italy, they don't specify the way. They don't specify them like they specify them for certificate for Nigeria. You go need to do the test to really understand. So if you know, say you date one person and I don't really know which genotype na gets, the best thing is to go to the hospital. When you go meet your doctor, tell your doctor specifically per anemia fasciforme to prescribe the exact test where you go need for per vedere se io sono microcytemica, and your doctor will prescribe it for you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
You're
I don't know,
welcome.
audience, if you have any question, you could indicate so that I give you the link to come up and ask. Should be able to answer any questions. Today. And then while I wait for questions, I also play another video where you talked something that is deep and we need to reflect on it. The cost. You said something about the cost of a particular drug. A particular sickness. The drug costs, I think, over
1,682 euros.
Just one tablet. And
just one in syringe.
Just one in syringe. And it's like, how will somebody, what kind of sickness is that? Because I watched that video, it made me to reflect on life itself.
Exactly.
Pop up the video. I'm coming.
Yes. Okay.
And like you begin to imagine how life could treat somebody. Yeah, I've seen a question already. I'm coming. No, I've seen a question already. Here's the video. I'm coming. Okay, I got it. Here we go.
Every day when you wake up, just raise your hands up and thank God for your life. Thank God for your life. I just sold a drug that cost about 1,679 euros. Grams of lambriotide. It's called lambriotide. It's actually used for gastric tumors and tumors that have to do with the digestive tract. It's so expensive. This drug is called Ipstil. Whenever you wake up in the morning, raise your hands up, give Jesus a wiper, thank your maker for keeping you alive. Thank your maker for keeping you alive. Every time this particular patient comes and I sell this drug to her,
Now that is the money for
Mm.
one particular kind of drug
Mm-hmm.
or a particular kind of sickness.
Mm-hmm.
We know cancer, tumor, these are sicknesses that sometimes you don't know the causes of this
Mm-hmm.
sickness. You
Mm-hmm.
know what happened. Could you please throw a little light on these particular terminal diseases, cancer, tumors? Because if you talk about, it's a very wide topic that
Widespread. Yeah.
you can't talk much. But at least let us know that cancer and tumor are not just for the white. Even people, because I've
Mm-hmm.
seen Nigerians who have a kidney failure and they are
Mm-hmm.
doing dialysis always 3 times
Mm-hmm.
a week.
Mm-hmm.
I know a number of Nigerians with
Mm-hmm.
that kind of sickness.
Uh,
Could you
it's
please?
a pandemic in Nigeria. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Even here in Italy, we have people who
Yes.
have kidney failures, and
Mm-hmm.
we Nigerians we attribute this to spiritual
Mm-hmm.
causes. People don't take medication. People don't take you. Somebody has, you know, like I work in the hospital, so I'm a little bit experienced in these things.
Mm-hmm.
You have signs of high blood pressure, and you have
Mm-hmm.
signs of other things. You don't go
Mm-hmm.
for medications. You go to pray,
Mm.
and at the end, it gets worse.
Wow.
Some even from here get drugs from Africa to treat some
Mm-hmm.
diseases here. Could you please just throw a little light on this issue? Then we'll go for questions.
Okay. I feel like here in Italy, specifically, Italy is one of the more Italy should be among the first 10 countries with the most cases of cancers, of malignant tumors, cancers and all forms of cancers. Maybe they don't really have widespread cases of kidney failure. Most of the time, there are people there are people who have kidney failures due to cancer treatments. The main issue or the main health challenge most Italians have here is tumors. You can't point one Italian family that has not had a relative that has not died of cancer in the last 25 years. And it's a serious issue. We are we're at an advantage back home in Africa. Why? Because we eat very organic food. But those of us even living here, that have been living here for the last, let's say, 10, 15, 20, 30 years, are at risk. Unlike our relatives back home in Nigeria, because the issue here is we don't eat organic foods. Everything is genetically modified. If you buy anything right now at the supermarket, you can clearly see it is genetically modified. You can't even buy fresh bananas anymore. You can't even the
Exactly.
last time I have on a YouTube on my YouTube channel where I bought a watermelon. I opened it and it was totally empty. It was
Wow.
just water. So this is all of the genetically modified products that they put in the supermarkets, in the farmers market, and all of that we're having to deal with. We eat, we ingest. These are the things we ingest that cause issues. You buy a chicken that it's clearly written on the label. It's 6 months old. How is this chicken this big? These are the issues. But we have our grandmothers back home in Nigeria that have chickens they've been raising for the last 3 years, and they are preparing to cook them for next year
Yeah,
Christmas. This
exactly.
is it. So here in Italy, it's a big issue because of the way we eat, the things we ingest. Here we are more exposed to. We have electricity 247, so we're exposed to all of this
Radiations.
radiation, so much radiation around us. So that's why it's a big issue here in Italy. In Africa, it might not be so much of an issue, but we still have cases of like that. In Nigeria, most of from articles I've read and all of that, cancer cases in Nigeria most of the time is due to fake drugs. That's why most of our people back home, they beg, please send me drugs. They don't even trust the drugs they see in the pharmacies back home. They
Sure.
always want drugs from. They always want medication from abroad. So all of this, I can't really say much about the terminal issues because it's just in our face. We see it every day. We hear of one neighbor that died of cancer. We hear of one person that died of cancer every single day. So there are some. The issue is early detection. The best thing is early detection. If one can figure out if one can find out on time, a life can be saved. Early detection is always the thing. And there are certain cancers, there are certain types that are not most likely not detected early, like the colon cancer. There's the colon cancer. There's the pancreatic cancers. These ones are detected very late because
they are deadly.
And they are very deadly. They are very, very deadly. Even an ovarian tumor might even be discovered early because the woman starts to have the symptoms, pain and all of that, bloating. Yeah. It's easily detected, but there are certain types that are not detected early, and those ones get terminal before the person gets to the 4th stage, and kaput is all over.
This is touching, actually. This is touching.
Yeah.
Now, I think we going straight to time for questions. If you have any questions, please, I'll drop the link here so that you could come up and ask questions. Ask Dr. Reza. She's a doctor. You ask her any questions on health issues that you want to really get to know about, and she'll throw little light on it. You could type it if you don't want to come up, and I'll read it to her. So that's a link for you to just click on the link. You come straight to the platform and then ask your questions. Make it brief. Now, while we wait for those who come and ask questions, I'll talk on something. We'll continue talking while we see if anybody will come to ask questions. Now, still on this life in Italy, you've been here for years.
Yeah.
You've seen children born from Nigerian parents having some issues. Like some of them go to school and before you know, they will tell the kids to go, the mother to go see maybe a specialist for the child, maybe a speech defect or hearing defect or many different things. Maybe the teacher is she lost the patience to take care of these kids. What would you advise? What would you tell our young mothers or our nursing mothers on how to take care of the kids?
Okay. From my own experience as a mom, I'm a mom of 2. I'll say most of us, from when our kids are born, we insist on speaking our madrelingua, English, or we speak our dialects. I, for one, am Igbo. I have my husband who has always insisted in teaching the children Igbo. But then we live in Italy and we have to be very factual. These children, when they go to school, they are not going to be speaking English or your dialect. So from an early stage, I feel like parents should try to speak, because kids, they are sponges. They absorb all of these languages early, excluding, I'm talking about kids without speech defects initially. From an early age, they can take all of the languages. But I feel like if we, for the child's sake, for social communication with other people, for easy communication with their peers, start with Italian, because you're living in Italy and you're not planning to relocate anytime soon. Start with Italian, add English, chip it in. I'm saying this because with my first child, we made that mistake. We were speaking only in English until his little brother came. He didn't find it so easy speaking Italian. After the little brother came, he started to speak Italian more often. Okay. So try speaking, because if you notice, they go to school and then their teachers start finding it difficult to communicate with them. If you know you're not leaving Italy anytime soon, let them start with Italian, then add English, then any other dialect can follow. Then if you notice from an early stage your child has a speech defect, ask for help, get help. Because these teachers in school, they would always come to you complaining. I have a mom friend who has a son who is about around 9 right now, and he has a speech defect they've been trying to deal with. He's been going to the logopedista and all of that for all of the speech therapy, and logopedista is like the child will speak, but the teachers are not patient enough because the teacher's
Yes.
own is I want to get my job done. You
Done
as a
on
mom, be
time.
patient with your child. Understand that this is just a process. So many of the best, the best, even Einstein, they once had all of these issues. So
Yes.
every child has his own pace. Don't put so much pressure on your child. In no time, the child will speak. The only thing you can do as a mom is have your own input, help in ways you can help your child. Is it taking the child for speech therapy? Is it helping the child, asking the child more questions? Because you notice a child has speech defects from when they keep nodding instead of saying yes. Ask the child questions. Try to implement ways to make the child speak. So I believe slow and just little by little, the child will be able to pull through.
Someone is asking, where can we check our blood group?
In the house, like in the or in any at any laboratory, qualsiasi clinica, qualsiasi centro medico, centro di analisi, si può fare. You can check your blood group. All you need to do is get your doctor to write it, to prescribe it. Analisi per vedere se uno è microcitemica, because there are different values. There's the when you go for blood tests, those prescription, all the ricetta your doctor gives you, they are for different things. So when you let your doctor understand that I want to voglio vedere se sono microcitemica, your doctor understands exactly what to put. They then starts to put hemoglobin 1, hemoglobin 2, all of that. When your doctor specifies, you go and do the blood test. They draw your blood and then they know exactly what they are looking for.
Now, could you talk more about high blood pressure? What could be the causes of high blood pressure
Okay.
that are being overlooked until it gets to the stage where somebody almost goes into stroke? Because we're seeing Nigerians who collapses at work place, the farm, they collapse, and then you see they come to hospital because I work in the hospital. I've seen many, and they have this high blood pressure.
Okay,
What
high
could
blood
be
pressure. There are many causes of high blood pressure. One, as you just said, Father, is stress. Most people stress a lot. Stress is one of the causing factors of high blood pressure. Might be stress. Number two, the lifestyle. Do you do your 30 minutes walk a day? Do you move? Do you move your body, or do you just go to work and you come back and you say I've exercised for the day? The way you move, exercise, and all of that is important. When I say lifestyle, I'm talking about the things we eat. We eat a lot of salty food, salty meals. So many things we eat are salty. Excluding the salt you just put in your soup when you make that your nice, delicious ogbono soup. The fish has been dried, and sometimes it has been salted in one way or the other before it was dried. So many things. It's just the little things that you don't see that actually come to play. Now, another thing can be the weight, your weight. Are you checking your weight? Are you making sure? Have you checked your BMI? Is it in sync? Then, if you see your BMI is not the way it should be, try and work on it. Exercise, do one thing or the other. Some people practice intermittent fasting. Some people do water fast for days. Anything to get the blood pressure back to normal. Then some people take too much coffee and they don't realize that it's got caffeine. It's got caffeine in it. Caffeine is not just in your cup of coffee, in your power drink. Some people, they drink a lot of power drink, forgetting that it's got taurina and caffeine. You see so many people taking
this power drink. What are they? The soda. Those. What are the names now?
Red Bull, Monster, and all of that. All of those things. Any cardiologist will tell you to run from those things. If you see a good cardiologist, he'll say run from those things because those things cause. So that's why you see the younger current Gen Zs. You can see a Gen Z in the hospital with high blood pressure because of all of this Monster drink, Red Bull, all of these drinks. Cut down on it. Like, it's got caffeine, taurine. These are things that tend to cause tachycardia. That's increased heart rate. These are things that one can look out for as well. It can be hereditary as well. Having high blood pressure can be hereditary. So
people are finding it difficult to use the link. So if you are in the group, I drop the link on the WhatsApp group. You could use that. I don't know why you guys find it difficult to come up with the link I drop here on the screen.
The link has been dropped on the WhatsApp group in the page there. You could come up with it if you want to ask questions. Dr. Risa, you've given us much things to think about today. Because I know it took me time because I've been writing you all this while you were busy, and yesterday you
Yes.
just declined that
Um,
you could
yeah.
speak today. We've learned a lot from you actually. And while wait for questions, please type your questions so that we get going or we just round off everything. She talked about many things today. She talked about blog group. When you're dating a girl and you're getting serious, go and check your blood group. Don't just, what happens to most Nigerians here is that you come in, you get pregnant, and life begins. Nothing is checked. Nothing is checked. That's why when you go for some test, the doctor tells you, come with your husband. And they ask you questions like, do you have these things in your family history, all those stuff? There's a
Exactly.
question. I'm facing the challenges. Some challenges I'm facing. I'm feeling headache and I'm feeling it in my brain. I don't remember anything again. It's like my brain is formatted.
Hmm.
What could that be?
Like your brain is formatted. Do you drink? This person asking this question? How often do you drink water? Have you
The
spoken to
the
your doctor
question
about
the,
it?
the question is on the screen. You could see it.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Not on this. Okay. Oh, I'm facing some. Okay. See, sincerely speaking, headaches. There are levels to headaches. Headaches can be. Some people actually have what you call emicrania in Italian, migraine. If the headache starts if the headache starts looking, if it starts to seem like it's more than a usual headache, sometimes you might just be having a headache because you've drank little water for that day, or you might be having a headache because you've just had so much physical strain, and you've strained yourself and you've stressed yourself. You tend to have headache. But when you see that the headache is looking, it don't they pass, be careful, as our people will say. At that point in time, get an evaluation. Do I need to start taking an integratore? There are certain you have certain supplements on the market like Arsenal. They help with neuropathic pain. If you start seeing that the pain starts to connect to other things, like you start feeling nerve pain, if the headache starts to connect to nerve pain, then you might have to get an evaluation, because constant headaches isn't really a good sign. I don't want to misdiagnose or just bring a diagnosis here. You need to see the doctor for an evaluation if it's getting to that point. Then sometimes you said it seems like your brain is getting formatted. Are you forgetful? Do you notice, like, do you tend to
Yeah,
forget things easily? He
he
said
said,
yes.
I don't remember. He said, I don't remember anything.
Okay, now there's a problem. At this point, you have to seek help. At this point, you need to go for an evaluation. You need to go for
Okay.
an evaluation.
Good. We have another question.
Okay.
Is there any connection with
Connection with contraceptive.
contraceptive and adding a lot of weight?
Oh yes, sadly so. Yes, there are different kinds of contraceptives with their side effects. There are certain contraceptives. There are a lot of them actually that actually contain ethylogestrel. There are different kinds of contraceptives, and it depends on your body type. A woman might use different types till she finally figures out the one that works for her. Especially when you see the combination contraceptive pills that contain two different active principles, most of the time they tend to make you add weight. Not every one of them. And then it depends on your body system as a woman, but there's a big connection to contraceptives and weight gain. Then there are certain types that actually increase your appetite. Some increase your appetite, you tend to eat more often than usual, and some actually cause fluid retention in the body, and then it seems like you've added weight. So there are different types. So yes, there's a connection. And there's still some that actually make you lose weight as well. So there's actually a connection with all of them.
Now you have another question again.
What can we do here to reduce the ingestion of these chemically grown foods here? There's not much we can actually do, sincerely speaking. We are in the community, except if you want to really spend much money, you want to spend enough money, there are supermarkets now that specifically sell only bio. When you go to supermarkets, you see the bananas that are wrapped in a nice wrap, and you see the big inscription bio. You see, you check the normal Dole banana or the Chiquita, the famous ones in the supermarkets, are €1.99 per kilo. Then you look right and you see the one that is wrapped nicely with bio is €3 something, €4 something. So you just pick your own choice. Do I really want to eat healthy and go for just bio? But when you have a family of 4 to feed, you think you have to rethink, do I really want to eat bio? It's hard when you're here, you live abroad, because it's the same situation everywhere abroad. Unlike when we are in Nigeria, we have banana trees in our houses, or we have the markets, the supermarkets, everything is fresh. This is the issue. So I don't think there's much we can do about it whilst as far as we're still here. There isn't much we can do about it. The thing is just make healthier choices. Okay. Vitamin D supplements. A good one I can prescribe to you that does not need the doctor's prescription is vitamin D Demetagenics. It's vitamin D Demetagenics. I can't get the picture here. It's got 2000. You have the 2000 units one. You can take one of that every day. It's over the counter. It's a supplement. You can go into any pharmacy and ask for vitamina D Demetagenics or pure vitamina D della Ipsa. Any of these two.
I think we've got some questions already. I'm coming. I'm coming. Somebody said,
Okay.
I'm coming. It's like somebody's coming up for some questions.
Okay.
Hold on, please.
Okay.
If you're coming, please, or your video is on. Why she Uviagari? I don't understand. Please, you come on with your video on, okay? Uviagari, I can't see you. Your distance is mute. Good. Good evening.
Can you see me now?
Yes, we can see you. Good evening and welcome to our platform. What was your question?
Yeah. Visit the doctor and asked to do some tests because I was having problem with my eyes, and they write some tests for me. I went to do the test. I will come with the urine and blood to check if I have some of generic diseases that transfer could have been the problem, because when they check the eye, they anything that was wrong with it, but actually I can't see with it much. So I did the test, but I don't understand what it says. So I was looking for a way, if I you the copy, so you can help me to check what my doctor said. It's nothing to worry about, but I should come back in that I should come do this test again sometimes in 3 months' time.
I think we can share your result here. Probably you could send it to me on WhatsApp. I'll send it to her.
Okay.
Okay.
That will do. It's a personal thing, so we can share your result here on live. She'll maybe later send to me. That will send to her.
Yeah, I understand.
Okay.
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 So that is what I was. If she can help me to explain to me better, because he's an Italian, so, and I don't understand that.
Yeah, by the time I get the result, I'll send to her. Okay.
Yeah, the result is with me.
Don't worry, send to me.
So
Not on the
I was
screen.
just trying. Okay.
Okay, just send him a picture of it. Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah, you can send to father a picture of it. Okay.
His WhatsApp number. It's I think. Hello. I don't know. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Something happened to father's network.
Okay, because I was thinking it's on my end. Okay. It's really, really difficult here in with the Italian languages. That is something when you don't understand.
Yes.
Some of all these things they say, I understand them.
Yeah, I understand.
I'm trying to get my driver's license, and I've been studying. So I still don't get some of the language, because some of the language they are daily to daily language, like the ones I know in Italy. So it's difficult. So I don't know how people to hospital do get to know what is their problem with the hospital. I don't know how they are able to understand what the doctor, because even it will be very difficult. It's come back yet. I think it's a problem from his end.
Yeah. I'm trying to see if he's coming back, or if we have to end this one so he sends a new link.
Okay.
I'm asking him on WhatsApp.
Okay, so ask him.
Okay, I'm trying to see.
And now I think I have other questions need to ask also, because you in Italy, and there have been some rumors I heard about some of the doctors treat the black people. Sometimes they can give you something else that can even worsen the situation. So I don't know if that is true. Hello? Oh, maybe.